Today I'm bringing you some cute Easter decor ideas, crafting from my stash. They're all on a budget and absolutely adorable. My name's Robin, so let's get started on some Easter DIY crafting. For this first Easter craft, I'm using a sign from my stash, plaster chalk paint, buttons, some scrapbook paper, 3 carrots, 2 of the wood cubes, and 2 of the little bunny ornaments, all from the Dollar Tree. The first thing I did was take my heat gun and remove all the wording that was on the sign. There was no saving it, and it was busted when I got it. I then took a piece of sandpaper to smooth everything out and get it ready to paint. I brushed off the dust after I got done sanding. And of course, I had to distress it, so I'm going over it with a chip brush and the plaster chalk paint. I know it looks like I went a little heavy, but trust me, it turns out looking great. While the paint was wet, I used the same chippy brush and some antique wax and went over it to give it that really aged look. Welcome, everybody, especially my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I measured out my scrapbook paper and left just a little bit more than I thought I would need, trimmed it out with scissors, and then I will go back and trim it out with my X-Acto knife once I glue it down using my glue stick. I then take my bunnies and paint them with Southern Bluebell and Cameo Pink, then glue a button over the hole of each bunny. I used a pom-pom for their tail, but you could easily just use a cotton ball or whatever you have on hand. The ribbon I wanted to use was too wide, so I trimmed off the edges and then cut it down the middle so I could glue it around each bunny's neck. This sign ends up so cute. If you want to find out if it's my favorite, you'll have to stick around. I took one of these small pre-made bows that I got from the scrapbooking section at Hobby Lobby and glued it around the neck as well. I decided the inside of the sign needed to look more finished, so I hot glued jute all the way around the inside. I bundled my carrots together, first using hot glue, stacking them on top of one another, and then tied them together using a piece of jute and tied it into a bow because everything just looks better with a bow around it. Since I'll be raising the bunnies off the sign using one of the wood cubes, I did go ahead and paint both sides. Now that choice is completely up to you if you decide to recreate this, but if somebody looked at it, I didn't want them to see the bare wood. I glued the bunnies down in place, then glued my carrots, and there it is. I think this is absolutely precious. It screams spring and Easter. And I don't know about y'all, but I am ready for some beautiful Easter colors. Hey y'all, just a quick minute to tell you about an exciting thing that I have started doing, or I will be doing. I have hinted on the channel in my videos that there are some changes coming, not just to the channel, but for me personally, new ventures, so to speak. Now, this is not the big news, but I did want to share with you guys that I have joined the Whatnot Sellers community. Now, if you're not familiar with Whatnot, it is a free app that you can download. It is live auctions. You can find anything from craft supplies to vintage decor, comic books, clothes, jewelry, crafting supplies. If you're into junk journaling, and I know some of you are, you can find all kinds of great things at really great prices. My very first show will be coming up on March the 19th at 6 p.m. Central Time, and I would absolutely love it if you guys could download the app. Give me a follow by clicking the little yellow follow button when you get to my profile page, and I'm going to put a link in the description box where you can get $15 off of your first purchase with me. And all those details can be found on Whatnot. But be sure to click the link in the description box to claim your free 15 bucks. My first show is going to be selling off a lot of my craft supplies, and you guys know I have a boatload of those. So that is what is coming up. I just recently set up the show. I don't have everything loaded into the auction tab yet or the buy it now tab. So be on the lookout for that. But guys, if you would give me a follow over there, that really helps to boost me out to the Whatnot algorithm. And bookmark my show, because that helps also to give me a boost in the Whatnot community. So I just wanted to pop in really quick and let you guys know about that. So let's get back to the DIYs. Here we go with Easter DIY number 2. You're going to need a bunny ears headband, plaster chalk paint, and one of these wicker wreaths from Dollar Tree. This one is a 12-inch. And I'm going to use 2 pieces of this burlap paper, but you could use cardboard. The first thing I'm doing is taking a chip brush and some of the plaster paint and just giving a little bit of color to this wicker wreath form. Now, if you don't have one of these, you could use whatever you have. Use your stash, because that's what I'm doing in this video, and I didn't have to go out and buy anything. Now, I'm using the back of this burlap paper and I'm tracing out the shape of my bunny's feet. And I kind of pictured it in my head. You know, a bunny's foot is kind of long. So I'm just making a longish oval kind of shape, maybe, if that makes sense. You'll see it and it'll all click. But I just took my time, traced it out. You can Google a picture if you need to. Yeah. So anyway, both feet are cut out, and I'm using this Cameo pink paint to paint on his toes and, well, pads rather. And for the big pad, it's basically, I made like an upside down heart, and I'm just filling it in with the Cameo paint. I wasn't real satisfied with how that one turned out, but you'll see in the end I go back and fix it. Now, these bunny headbands, I believe you could find them at Dollar Tree. I've had this one in my stash from Hobby Lobby. These are wired and made of plastic, so I just took my wire cutters, clipped it apart, no problem. The ears themselves are wired. They have wire running through them, so they do stand up. I took this paddle wire. It's a 26 gauge, and guys, I highly recommend use something that's not so flimsy. I should have used either a zip tie or even a pipe cleaner. I doubled the wire up and slipped it through the little slats of the wreath there, and then wrapped it around really tight around the ear on the back side, and then cut off the excess. Just for a little extra insurance, I put a dab of hot glue on the front of the ear and held it to the wreath till it set up. This may be my favorite wreath of all time. This turns out so freaking cute. Oh my gosh, I love it. This is how the feet turned out. See, I went back and I made the pads a little bigger, and I'm just using hot glue to attach them down to the wreath. I took 2 stems of boxwood, put the stems together, made a bundle, tied it together with jute, and left a long enough tail that I could tie it on to the wreath itself. I chose to use some of these foam Easter eggs on sticks that I got from Dollar Tree. If you don't have these particular ones, you could just take a foam egg, put a skewer stick in it, and use that. You could use carrots. You could use whatever you have. Use more florals. For the bow, I made 2 awareness ribbons and zip tied them together and then zip tied the whole thing to the back. And there she is. What do you guys think? I think she's adorable. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're still here enjoying this video with me, I would really appreciate a big old thumbs up and leave me your favorite colored heart emoji. If you don't have emojis, just type out the word heart. DIY number 3 is this farmhouse carrot sign. You can use any style sign you like. I'm just using one I had in my stash. First thing I did was use my heat gun and took the little house off the top. I then took a piece of sandpaper, got in the grooves, all the rough edges off, and gave the whole thing a light sand. Then gave it one good coat of plaster chalk paint. I'm also using 20 wood biscuits. These are the smaller size. They're pretty inexpensive at any hardware store. You could also use oval shapes. You could use they call them, they have them at Dollar Tree in the bag, the little round, they look like cut up tree branches. I can't think of the name of them. You're then going to lay them out like I have here, starting with one at the bottom, then 2, then 3, then 4. And I'm just hot gluing them down just like you see there. And what we're going to do is we're going to build layers on top of this, and we're going to have a really rustic farmhouse shaped carrot. Guys, I want to encourage you, if you enjoyed today's video, I would love to have you subscribe and join the crafty crew. We have a lot of fun here. We're building a great community, and we would love to have you. I know you'll really enjoy it, and that way you won't miss out on any of the weekly fun videos. So as you see here, I'm hot gluing them down. For instance, the top row has 4, then it'll have 3, then 2, and then 1. That's how they'll be stacked. And you just keep gluing and stacking. You could actually make it as big as you want. These biscuits were small and they were a perfect fit for this sign. And again, I'm crafting from my stash, not buying anything. And I then took 2 pieces of burlap, scrunched them together in the middle to make a bow, then took some antique wax and went over my carrot to give it that more rustic farmhouse feel that you guys know I love. And this is how it turned out. I love all these projects. My favorite is the bunny. You guys comment below and let me know which one is your favorite. And I will see you in the next one. Until next time, y'all go get your craft on. Bye.